Capital P is we're bringing the model year 20, 21, and 22 vehicles up to 23 standards. Now, what are some of these updates that we're going to find as part of this update? Well, I'm sure a lot of you have seen what the PCM looks like for what we call cluster 37. Has a bunch of colored tiles there on the left-hand side. Increased responsiveness, a revised user interface. For those of you who have the heads-up display, which was after model year 2021, there is now map updates to the heads-up display, as well as some more updates that we'll be getting a little bit later. We also have native Spotify integration. So of course you have to have a Spotify account, but you can just log in without having to do it from your phone. It can all be done from the PCM. For those Android users, we're now going to be able to have wireless Android Auto coming to these 2021 and 22 Taycans. So without having to actually plug it in, it'll now all be wireless. We'll also be able to have the charging stations can now be filtered by power output. So let's say that you're looking for a charging station. You can now filter it by how much power output the charging station has. So you can find those charging stations that have higher outputs so you can charge your Taycan faster. You also be able to use your onboard owner's manual via the Porsche voice pilot or voice control to be able to find anything in the owner's manual without having to go through or even flip through the good to know manual. Now, there's quite a few updates that are coming to the Taycan's powertrain as part of this update. So the largest update has to do with the all-wheel drive models. And with the all-wheel drive models, the front electric motor will be decoupled in partial load range and in range in driving modes. And with this, it's going to actually increase the Taycan's overall range, because now we're not going to be full-time using that front motor. So that's going to happen if you're going to be coasting. If you're sitting at a stoplight, that front motor is going to be decoupled. And then, of course, if you're in the normal or range mode, just under partial throttle, it is going to be decoupled. Now, let's say you want to accelerate really hard in either range or normal mode. Within about 20 milliseconds, that front motor is going to be able to be recoupled, and of course you'll be able to accelerate very, very quickly. Now, going hand in hand with this is now if you're looking at the instrument cluster, the all-wheel drive indicator is now going to show the amount of power that's going between the front as well as the rear wheels. So if you're just kind of cruising, you'll now just see most of the power all to those rear wheels. And again, this is to increase range so that you're not using all this unnecessary power to the front motor on all of the all-wheel drive Taycans. For some of you who've been using the recuperation mode, either in auto or on, now it's going to save to whatever mode you had saved it to as you go through the different drive modes. So for example, let's say that you're in the normal mode and you have the auto recuperation on. If you switch over to sport mode, the auto recuperation mode is still going to stay the same. In the past, if you were in normal mode, you had it in auto recuperation, you switched over to sport, it would get rid of that setting that you had for recuperation. So this is just another one of the updates that is coming to the Taycan. Another larger update has to do with the overall thermal management of the Taycan. So the battery can be preconditioned faster into a higher temperature. This allows for optimum charging curve performance at a higher